And Mary, I don't know if you caught that, but we're going to start in about 2 minutes.
You have one. You definitely have one.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today for this announcement about a youth panel on climate change. We're joined today by Yukon Premier Sandy Silver and Nelly Bujevich, the Climate Change Secretariat Program Lead for the youth panel. Today we have sign language interpretation being provided by Mary Thiessen. And following some opening remarks from the Premier, we will do a round of questions with reporters on the line and here in person. Without further ado, I'll hand it over to Premier Silver.
Thank you, Matthew. It's great to be here on the traditional territory of the Kwanlin-Dun First Nation and the Ta'anquachin Council to announce a call for applications to form Yukon's first ever youth panel on climate change. Climate change is the biggest challenge of our generation, and Yukon youth deserve to have their voices heard. Our northern climate is warming 3 times faster than the rest of Canada and globally. Carbon pollution continues growing at an alarming rate. Last week, we announced the launch of Our Clean Future, a Yukon strategy for climate change, energy, and green economy. I'm so proud of this strategy and the work that went into it. One of the objectives within the strategy is to educate and empower youth as the next generation of leaders. One of the actions in the strategy is to further this objective, is to create a youth panel to provide advice and perspectives on the environment. 7 to 10 panel members ages 12 to 25 will be selected to serve the first-year term. The members will reflect the diversity of Yukon's youth and having a keen interest in climate change. The group's work will include participating in activities that build leadership and life skills and education related to climate change issues right across the Yukon. Also engaging with young people on issues related to climate change, energy, green economy, communicating young people's perspectives on climate action, providing advice and perspectives to the Government of Yukon on issues related to our Clean Future strategy, supporting youth to learn about climate change, and also empowering youth to take meaningful action. Panelists will be asked to attend monthly virtual meetings and several in-person meetings as well. The youth panel will have significant autonomy in choosing how to present their recommendations to government. They may choose to provide a formal report with recommendations, or maybe a multimedia presentation document for the perspectives of Yukon youth, or they may choose to organize a youth-led climate action summit. There will be an honoraria in support of attending meetings, providing advice, and participating in other activities. This will be an amazing opportunity, and I encourage all interested youth to apply. Now, the deadline for applications will be October the 20th. For more information, please visit yukon.ca/youth-climate-panel. We plan to announce the selected panel members in November. Thank you to all of our community partners who have shared their ideas with us as we develop this panel concept. We appreciate engagement and your help as well. I want to specifically thank BITE, Empowering Youth Society, for agreeing to support the panel in the coming months. BITE was asked to help because of its expertise in empowering youth, their connection with other non-government organizations, their connections with First Nations governments, and also organizations that are active in the field of climate change. I also want to recognize all younger Yukoners who have already stepped up and are taking action and showing leadership. You have an important role to play in building a healthy and prosperous Yukon, and you are already making a difference. Your generation's passion to address issues like climate change will drive many positive and much-needed innovations. I'm very excited about a future where Yukon is resilient and we have a thriving green economy powered by clean energy. I'm very excited to launch this youth panel so that they can help us get there. Thank you very much. We'll take some questions. I don't know if you have anything else to add, Nellie? Okay, nothing yet?
All right, thank you, Premier Silver. We'll now do a round of questions with reporters, one question, one follow-up. And we'll start with our reporter here in person, Doug Tremblay with Shona FM.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. When it comes to the youth panel, youth has been very active and they have done a really good job of encouraging the declaration of a climate emergency. Is this youth panel going to encourage the kind of civil disobedience that has been going on, that has risen this issue to its level?
Thanks for the question, Doug. I'll just start by, we said right up front, this youth panel will be very autonomous. We want the youth's voice to be heard, and we want to make sure that they can directly feed into this government based upon whatever they see fit. I was really adamant that the panel had the opportunity, obligation perhaps even, to meet on a regular basis with ministers and with myself, and hopefully this continues on, into the future as well, and so there's regular update meetings. So the most important piece for me is how does the youth panel use their voice to influence and recommend the government's direction. That's the most important piece. What they choose to do is up to them.
Okay, thank you. No other questions.
Thanks, Doug. We'll now move to the phone line. We'll start with Haley Ritchie with the Yukon News.
Thanks. I'm wondering if there'll be any compensation for the panelists?
Go ahead, Nellie.
Yes, there will be honoraria provided for panel members. For a full day of participation, it will range from about $125 to $150, and this is all in line with our policies. And then for half day, it'll range about from $60 to $75 per participant. And we're also going to be providing support for transportation and for meeting expenses and for any other travel-related expenses for in-person meetings.
Thanks, Haley. Do you have a follow-up?
Thanks. I guess my other question is just a little bit about how the panelists are going to be chosen, and whether you're trying to get sort of geographic diversity as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's really important for us to have geographic, cultural, gender diversity, and really a representation of youth from all across the territory. So we're really encouraging youth in all parts of the territory to apply. And when we screen the applications, we will really look for that representation. We're also working with community partners to make sure that the word gets out through their networks and they have really good relationships in the different communities. We certainly want this to be a panel that reflects Yukon youth voices. So that's really important for us when we're choosing panel members.
Thank you.
Thanks, Haley. Next, Dave Croft, CBC.
Hi. So how much guarantee, I guess, how are you going to decide whether to take the advice of the young people? For instance, they might make recommendations or ask for things that are clearly against the policy of the government. So how are you going to deal with that when it comes up?
Again, we'll have to take that as it comes, David. We just put out a very comprehensive a policy document that outlines what we believe we need to do, what steps we need to do as a government to move forward over the next 10 years to reduce our emissions and to move to a clean economy. We need to have conduits of communication directly to our youth, and if we don't, we'll fail in our efforts. We really need to make sure that the youth who are passionate about this issue have a strong voice. I remember in my environmental studies classes back in 1988 having a conversation about emissions, 50 years if we don't change anything, and the needle has not been moved very much since that time, but the data and the science is still proving out the timelines that were identified way back then when I was a youth. So I wish I had a voice back then when I was doing my projects on dioxins and furans in the pulp industry, and I wish I had more direct conduits to the government of the day at that time. What we're doing is we're providing an opportunity for youth to have their voice, and if a government doesn't listen, well then that would be truly detrimental not only to the Yukon but to all of Canada and our obligations to the Paris Accord and to the targets therein.
Maybe I'll just add, too, that there's youth panels on climate change all across the country, and politicians are hearing that young people have a voice and perspectives about climate action. So we're certainly learning from other panels in different jurisdictions. And I mean, we have really great examples here in the territory. The Yukon First Nations have a youth panel that are voicing their priorities on climate action. And we're really looking at all the great examples of young people taking action and taking leadership in their own communities, developing projects, coming up with ideas of the kinds of things people can do in their own community. So we have a lot to draw on. We have a really good, a lot of young people that are excited and passionate, and we really look forward to hearing from them and to working together to coming up with a program for this next year that is meaningful for both the panelists and for us in terms of what we do with the recommendations.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Dave. Do you have a follow-up?
Well, yeah, just to carry on with that. So you mentioned that, Premier, you mentioned the environment, the thing you just came out with, the policy, but right away there was immediate criticism in regards that it's where mining has a role, mining's place in all of that. So, I mean, that's something that could come up and probably will. I guess, what kind of guarantees or what kind of instructions are going to be given to government officials or other agencies officials that they're not to try to redirect or somehow influence what these panels come up with?
The hard question to answer, David. I'm not really sure what the question is. Listen, we take recommendations all the time. Back in the early days of my first year, we took recommendations from the independent panel for in our Department of Finance, where we have an independent review when it comes to health and social services. This government has proven that what is really important to us is the voice of Yukoners in our decisions. This is no different. The only difference is this is one of the biggest challenges, if not the biggest challenges of our generation. It's extremely important to governments take in the recommendations from our youngest Yukoners, especially when it comes to the climate. We've had too many conversations where previous generations have said, we've messed it up, now it's your turn to fix it. This is an obligation on our behalf as a government to listen to the youth in real time and to apply that voice to our strategy in real time. And again, Dave, if there's a department that isn't going to listen to the mandate, and we've proven that we think that this is an extremely important part of our government's direction, well, then that's truly problematic, and we'll deal with that. But the recommendations hopefully will be coming in very soon. We're very excited to get this panel underway. Like we said, we'd like to start this as soon as November because we have really important work to do this winter, and we'll be relying on the youth and their recommendations to help us move forward with our new plan.
Thanks, Dave. We'll now go to Claudiane Samson with Radio Canada.
Hi. You have a budget determined for this panel?
We do. The total annual budget for the youth panel will be $96,000. So that includes the honoraria, the travel, the meeting expenses, and funding to support the other non-government organizations' involvement in the youth panel. The budget also includes $30,000 of funding directly to BITE for their payroll expenses related to the youth panel. BITE support for the youth panel will include working with them and managing their annual budget because, again, they have the expertise to be able to do that.
Thanks, Claudiane. Do you have a follow-up?
Any designated First Nation seats on the panel considered?
Well, yes, for sure. We want this panel to be diverse culturally, regionally, age-wise, gender-wise. So definitely, I think we're looking for that representation of Yukon youth.
Merci, Claudiane. That's the full list. Does anyone else on the line have any further questions? Great. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us today. If you do have any further questions, feel free to get in touch with the contacts on the news release that's just come out for this. And please spread the word widely about the call for applications for this youth panel on climate change. Thanks.